Speaker Pelosi today is announcing a new bipartisan select committee to oversee the federal response. And joining me now is the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Welcome, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much for being with us today. Tell us first about the new select committee that you are announcing today. What do you see the purpose? Is this the after-action report that Adam Schiff was talking about, which would be similar to a 9/11 commission of non-electeds? Or is this the ongoing federal response that needs to be overseen as you analyze it?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be with you today, a day that we've gone over 200,000 cases, over 6 million unemployment insurance applications. This is a very big assault on the livelihood and the lives of the American people and requires extraordinary action. In our first bills, the first two bills, we addressed the emergency of it all. Testing, testing, testing. Not that it was all heated, but nonetheless, that was what was advanced. In the third bill that was signed by the president last week, we talked about mitigation, certainly continuing our emergency emphasis, but mitigation for the damage to the health and well-being of the American people and to our economy. And next, we want to move to recovery. And you mentioned that the Senate didn't seem to be ready for that, but the American people have needs that maybe are not well known to the leader, but are well known in every community across our country. So the reason I announced this committee, this House Select Committee to address the coronavirus crisis, is so that we can, in the here and now, address as we go forward with transparency and accountability. Others are suggesting after action review, and that's for after action. And there are plenty of reasons why we need lessons learned, as Dr. Fauci referenced them the other day, lessons learned and perhaps new therapies when we have another round of this. God willing, we don't, but if we do. So that's about an after-action review, so we're prepared for the future. This is about the here and now. It is modeled after a select committee proposed by then Senator Truman in 1941. He proposed a select committee to address the defense spending at the time. He basically said after World War I, there were 116 committees after the fact investigating the cost and all the rest in World War I and the contracting in World War I. He said, I think it's better to rather than have 116 after the fact, to have one now that watches how we go forward. And he was right. It only cost under $1 million. It saved $15 billion in many lives. He said that was what it was intended to do, and it did just that. So we think that it would be very important with transparency, bipartisanship, accountability, that we proceed all together in a way that unifies our country, addresses the concerns that we have about the health and well-being of the American people, the safety of our workers who are meeting their needs, as well as the impact on our economy. I'm very excited about it. It was a good model from the Truman era during World War II, so to watch out for the contracting and the rest then. I think it's something that should be welcomed by the Republicans and the administration as we deal with elements in our economy as we go forward.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.